Hello, everyone. You're in office with Joseph Skoda. Remember back when you were a kid and maybe you wanted to go outside and play with your friends after school? And, when mom said, yes, you can go play, have some fun, you're excited. But what happens when they said no? And often because you had homework to do and the priority, take care of homework, take care of your younger brother or sister, whatever it was. When you get an answer of yes, you're excited. When you have an answer of no, you're usually not. And what about if you want that cookie or ice cream? It'd be the same thing, except it usually wasn't homework. You want a cookie or ice cream, and often if you ate all your vegetables, everything on your plate, the answer could be yes, or it could be no because you like your Brussels sprouts. Whatever it is, those are the times of the world. But when you were a kid, can you remember maybe mom and dad say you cannot play outside because you didn't do your homework? And then you would come back and say, well, mom and dad, yeah, but after I get back, I'll stay up late and finish my homework tonight, right? And those are different things, but the same as ice cream. Well, I don't like my Brussels sprouts, but I'll clean my room if you just let me have some ice cream right now. Those little things, those little tit for tat, those yes or no's, and then you try to learn how to negotiate. You understand, life is not all about yeses and nos. It's that middle ground, the middle, where we're trying to negotiate. You're like, hey, it sounds like a good idea. Hey, it is a good idea. In fact, I wish I would have thought of it sooner. When we learn how to negotiate, and we learn what's important, what yeses are important, and which no's are important. Now, I did 21 years in the Air Force, and my job, if I said no or did not want to come to work, first of all, someone's life could be in danger, and I could go to jail. I could be reprimanded. I could get a reduction in pay, a demotion, if I refuse to come into work, or I refuse to do my job correctly, or if I was a conscientious objector. Really? I'm in the military. There's no such thing. We have to pick up a rifle from time to time and use it for defense mostly, but whatever it is, we sign a contract and we need to be held responsible for that. Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit about yes and no. And sometimes it's important. And if you're trying to work your way up the chain or the corporate ladder, yes, you want to volunteer. Yes, you want to try this. Yes, you want to take on new challenges. But sometimes we say yes too much. Sometimes we constantly say yes, 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 and we find out later on that we're just being taken advantage of. Hey, ask Joe. We'll always say yes. Don't worry about it while everyone else is having fun. Now, if you can see the bigger picture, and if you say yes enough and you get your face out there, your name out there where people can recognize and count on you, yes, it could open up doors. And it often does. Sometimes doors that say yes even more often and not get paid for it. You and I need to know sometimes when to say no. No, I cannot do that this weekend. I have other plans. No, I cannot take on another project. I cannot coach another person. I cannot mentor another organization because I don't have the time. We have time constraints. That's not easy. When you're young and still trying to make a name for yourself and still trying to earn some extra money, get a promotion, whatever it is, you can't say no too often. We have to say yes. We should be expected to say yes. But you and I don't have to give a firm yes or a firm no. Someone could say, hey, I would like you to work this weekend, right? I want to work this weekend. Now you can say yes or no, or you can say, I'd rather not, but no, unless. You see what I'm saying? No, I will not work this weekend unless you guarantee I'm off the next 3 weekends. Or no, I cannot stay late unless I get this promotion, unless this door opens, unless I get this client. And sometimes if you're new in the game, unless or but is going to work against you because we do have to say a few yeses and get our name, our persistence, our knowledge, our education, our skills out there. So then later on we can say, I'm not so sure, let me think about it. Or what's in it for me? See, life is not always about yes and no's. Sometimes it's about that maybe, that not necessarily gray area, that negotiation area. Because when you said yes enough, you're developing skills, you're developing network, you're developing face time with people that can make or break you. But when you've done that enough, then you can afford to say no a few times with the stipulation. No, I cannot pick up your laundry from the dry cleaners unless. No, I cannot start this new organization because unless I expect this in return. You and I don't need to always expect something for saying yes and volunteering our time, our resources, our talent. But we should get paid back in one way or another. If we're not getting paid back financially or time off, it needs to be inside here. There needs to be a great payback where you feel good about yourself by serving, by donating, by giving a little bit of yourself that some others are unwilling to do. Same thing as when we're looking for a significant other in our lives. Are we saying yes? Are we saying no? Do we know what we're saying? Sometimes us men don't even know if we're dating a woman or not unless she tells us. Yes, that's happened to me. Yes, that's happened to me. I'm the last to know. They have to tell me if we're dating or going out or eating whatever we're going to do. And those things are fun. But when you say yes so many times, then you have a little bargaining power. Well, I did what you wanted to do the last 10 times, or I went out to eat this place with you the last 2 weeks. Now it's my turn. I want to do something else. So the answer is no. I'm not going to McDonald's again. Quite frankly, how many women want to go to McDonald's over and over again when they're dating you or anyone in general? Very rarely. So the point is, it's okay to say yes. It's okay to say no. It's real important to learn those negotiating skills, have that bargaining chip, have not necessarily something on the other person, but a tit for tat in a positive manner. None of this, well, you did that to me, so I'm going to do that to you. We can't do that, and that does not help us with any long-term success. It really doesn't. Kind of can turn around and bite us in the butt from time to time. I learned a little bit of confidence and different skills through an organization called Toastmasters International. It's a great organization to help us not just learn how to speak in public or maybe a big environment, virtually or in person, but it gives us an opportunity to learn how to speak on the spot. When someone asks us a question, so hey, Joe Skoda, what do you think about poverty in Los Angeles? Or what do you think about the moon coming here? Or what if the election goes sour, or whatever the case is? What's your favorite vacation spot? Toastmasters gives us a way to come up with something on the spot. We have something we practice called table topics. It's impromptu speaking. Someone will get up and say, well, the sky is blue, but convince us it's red. And you have to go out there looking at a blue sky, yet convince everyone it's red. And that makes for some very entertaining topics and discussions. The good thing about table topics, it's usually just 1 to 2 minutes. They have 1 to 2 minutes to come up with something true or indifferent, an opinion, and feel confident about your answer. Now, isn't that what life is all about? When we're confident about our answer, when we're confident about our opinion, when we're confident about our decisions in life, whether that be a confident yes or a confident no. You and I need to become the best employee that we can. regardless if you're in the fast food industry, retail, I don't know, gas stations, turbo expanders, military, doctors, nurses, whatever it is, we need to be the best that we can be. Because whoever hired us deserves the best employee they can have. Or quite frankly, even though our skills may be great, if we're not going to be a team player, what employer wants that or needs that? They need someone who's willing to go for bat, who cares about their job and cares about the organization and everyone else in it. And if you and I think we're so great, our heads get big and we don't need anyone, stop that thinking. Because over time, you will lose that bargaining chip. You may be the best basketball player of all times, but if no one gets along with you or likes you, what team really wants you? So you go play over there somewhere. I don't care. We don't need you. We'll use the money we're paying you and use that to pay two people and develop their skills and help them become bigger and better. None of us should think we cannot be replaced. You and I can be replaced. But when we take on more challenges and work to becoming the best that we can be, leaving the arrogance behind, leaving the negative attitudes behind us, then we can say no sometimes. And sometimes say, no, but if you. No, but have you considered? No, not really, unless. I think you know what I'm saying. Work on our skills, be all that we can be, be the best that we can be. If you happen to be in a job you don't like, okay, take night school, learn another skill through Toastmasters or online courses or whatever it is. Learn how to be a carpenter later on. A lot of carpenters will hire us for free as we're learning the trade. And as we learn a few skills, then hopefully we get paid and can develop that knowledge and move on to bigger and better things. Whatever it is, we cannot be afraid to give our talents or ourselves for free with hopes of getting something bigger and better in return. Don't be afraid to volunteer. Say, yeah, I'll try that. Yes, I'll do that, but I'll need some help because I've never done it before. Oh, yes, I'll lead that team, but I need some help because I'm not confident enough. Take on those challenges. Sure, they always say, just say yes and learn how to do it later. But more importantly, find someone that will coach, that will mentor, that will help you do it bigger and better than you can on your own. Life's too short to always say yes, 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 yes. Life's too short to always say no, no, no. There has to be a middle ground. And you need to be confident and comfortable with your decision, with your answer, and so do your friends and family. So do your best to be all that you can be, make the right decisions, and realize life is not all about yes or no. Sometimes there's a little negotiation in the middle. Well, whatever it is, you have yourself a great day. Look me up. If you need a little help, mentoring or coaching, or being all that you can be, there's an app for that. There's a website, josephskoda.com. Have a great day. Tell us your story, a little bit of your yes and no knowledge. Have fun now. Glad to be talking to you. Bye.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York. So his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Venture.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now. We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. You see I'm wearing this helmet right now? Well, there's a reason for it. Today, I bumped my eye into a shelf. I slammed my tunnel cover for my truck on my wrist. I fell down on my face. I tripped here and there. Today's been one of those days where nothing seems to have gone right. You ever have one of those days where you don't know what you need? You have battle scars. You don't know where they came from, right? Well, that's happened to me this whole week. In fact, I'm in the process of moving, and when you move, things don't always go right. Besides, you have unexpected expenses in a lot of cases. I had to purchase a new bed, had to get new locks for the door, new lighting, heat, all these different things I did not quite expect. And that's life, because we all run into the school of hard knocks. I'm sure you can relate to the school of hard knocks, where nothing seems to go right. You plan it, you may even prepare for the unexpected, but every now and then something comes up from nowhere, and you don't know how it got there. Now you understand, just having a roof over our heads and food in our belly, and even though we may have a few battle scars and bumps and bruises, most of us are better off than other people. For instance, look at my shirt, Operation Tiny Home 2019. Good friend of mine, a fellow Air Force veteran, Sandy Blair, has Operation Tiny Homes. Operation Webs is their nonprofit. And her job is to help homeless female veterans find homes, whether it be a tiny home or a room in a house or something to help get them off the streets. You see, people that have almost nothing, who are homeless or been on the streets for a long time, often don't mind the bumps and bruises as long as they know there's a reward at the end. When you know one day they're going to have that roof over their head, or a potential job opportunity, or whatever it is. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of us to have it okay, our okay is better than people's good days. And we don't know how to understand, respect, or recognize it. And therefore, we're always complaining about what it coulda, shoulda, or this should go that way, or I deserve a pay raise, or how come they didn't recognize me, or what it coulda, shoulda. You know what I'm talking about, where you and I think we deserve more than we got, we earn more than we should, or not enough. Sure, life's not perfect, and we often are underpaid and overworked. I'm not saying a lot of us aren't. I have been there over and over again. But why can't we appreciate what we do have? Why can't we appreciate the people around us? Why can't we appreciate even our neighborhood, even if it's not the best neighborhood? And there's no best neighborhood, and everyone has their own stuff in their closet they don't want us to know. Every one of our neighbors, our friends, and even family have things they don't want to share with us. But understand, we all have things we don't want to share. And when we realize that about ourselves and about one another, we can stop prying on other people's business and pay more attention to our business and how we can make our lives just a little bit better, just a little bit better. So once again, why do we often not feel appreciated and show appreciation for what we do have in those people? Because we live in a greedy society, or why not me, or what's in it for me is probably more important. Is what can I do, or what can you do for me, rather than what can we do for you? Remember John F. Kennedy back in the 60s? Don't ask what America can do for you, ask what you can do for America. Like the airplane overhead? Well, I appreciate that. What can we do for America? What can we do for our neighbor? What can we do for our community? Now, like I said, I've been moving all week. I have some bumps and bruises, airplanes overhead, cat scratches, all these different things happening. And sure, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Like I said, some of the expenses, loss of sleep, aches and pains from doing a lot of physical labor myself, as well as my family. But, I'm not as young as I used to be. We don't need to guess my age. That's really irrelevant and not so important right now. But I'm far from when I did my 21 years in the Air Force. I've been retired for a couple of years already. So I'm not quite in the physical shape that I used to be. But I have learned through my travels and experiences around the world that I have it pretty good. Understand, those of us that served in the military never made a lot of money. If you were a commissioned officer, eventually you could make some decent money. But the majority of us never made a lot of money. And it wasn't about the money. It's kind of about the pride and freedom, and a little some that you have inside that. Like, this is the right thing to do. Serving our country, willing to die for our freedoms, is just something a few of us are called to do. Well, thankfully, I didn't die, but I do know people that have. And I do know a lot. I know people who've lost limbs, and I know a guy who lost his whole jaw from a tire exploding in his face. Hey, the VA took care of him very well afterwards. Actually, good looking guy today. But I remember that. I remember those days. And he's real appreciative of what he has now. I got a friend has lupus. He has lupus and different skin issues and things going on. And she went into hiding from some of her friends for a couple years because she was embarrassed, shy, disgruntled, stressed, depressed for sure. I was afraid to share with us. And what I noticed when we start sharing with others some of our issues, a lot of them are willing dead to share some of their issues. I remember she showed me some of the scarring she had on her face, and I'm showing her the psoriasis on my leg, for instance. I don't need to show you that right now, but the psoriasis is scaly and red and itchy, and I have different kinds of skin diseases. A lot of us do, but we don't want to talk about it. We're embarrassed, and understandably so. But when we learn not to be afraid of our disabilities or what makes us different, if we think about, remember, God made each and every one of us unique, made all of us a little different on purpose. And therefore we can, what's this say, supplement or optimize or fit in with someone else. And we can both make each other's lives even better. Because if we were all exactly the same, it'd be kind of a miserable life. Now, this is a time where Elections are going on. This is a time of uncertainty. This is a time of depression for some and anxiety for others. Why do we let that bother us? Because deep down inside, regardless of who the president is, the governor, the mayor, whomever, you and I need to find support for ourselves and our family members. Doesn't matter if we get a stimulus package every 2 weeks of $1,500 or whatever. Sure, that's going to be great, but the money's coming out of our taxes anyways. So what are you doing? What am I doing to ensure we have that $1,500 coming in regardless of a stimulus package? What are you and I doing to ensure that we're always going to have a roof over our head? What are you and I doing to make sure we got food in our belly? There's always something we can do. There's no excuses. Well, I've been doing this job for 10 years. I got laid off. Okay, learn a new skill. And with today's world, you can learn almost anything online. And schools are struggling. And so they're cutting tuition rates and everything else to get more students. So why not just take a class? I don't care if it's a certificate in basket weaving or management. It's usually only $100 just to learn something. Or take a Toastmaster. That's $100 for the whole year. There's always new skills we can be adding to a repertoire because it's sure looks good on our resume, but more importantly, adds to our self-worth. And we're building up our self-worth by gaining more knowledge and more skills than we ever had before. Then we are more valuable to any employer. I don't care what your job you're applying for. What is your edge against the other person applying for the same job? What gives you the advantage over someone else? There is always something out there. Even if you're doing volunteer work for free, you can add that to your repertoire, to your resume, and a skill level and experience you would never had any other way. Once you and I stop being so greedy, well, I'm not doing it unless you pay me, attitude, you go much further. Because when we volunteer, don't get me wrong, some of us do get taken advantage of, and we need to recognize that and move on to something else sometimes. But when we volunteer, people recognize the good we're doing. And we're building up certain skills and a certain self-confidence in certain areas, some areas, that's going to benefit us in the long run. Even serving the homeless in the soup kitchen gives more than pay. If you don't feel a little deep inside your soul, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Stop doing things for money. Do it for that feeling. Look for those skills to develop that self-worth to be stronger and better than ever before. And be prepared. There's always going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, ups and downs along the way, scars, battle scars, depression, uncertainty of the unknown. Don't be afraid. Embrace the journey, learn from it, ask questions, and share your wisdom with others. Anyways, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda, and I appreciate it. Just leave me a chat, leave some comments here, share and like what we're doing in social media shows, and reach out to me. Maybe we can work together. Have yourself a great day. J. Joe Skoda. Over and out. Bye now. Doo-doo. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.